Hey there friends, as of this video being produced and uploaded, they still have not captured the Maine rampage killer. Just mainly want to put that out there. You guys have probably seen everything about him so far, so I'm not going to go into a bunch of the detail. What I am going to go into is how the wackos on the far left and the anti-gun industry have already seized upon this, again, to try to further their agenda. And they are actually recruiting people who, previous to this, would have probably not gone along with them. And I have to point out that geography is starting to dictate some of these things now too. We've talked about geography in the past. If things happen in the inner city, Democrats don't care. If things happen in a restaurant in a populated area, Democrats suddenly care if they involve guns. They don't care about the shootings downtown Southside Chicago. They care about the shooting that happens at their church. That gets a lot of attention. Because, let's face it, they don't care about the people in downtown south side of Chicago. Well, geography is going to play a little bit more into what we're going to see here today. I have a press conference here that has not only the goofball Susan Collins, who is a Republican up in Maine. She's always been a real soft, mushy Republican, but also Representative Jared Golden. Jared Golden Showers has always been someone who has voted along partisan lines, but he's had a particular reason why he's always opposed an outright, quote, assault weapons ban, as the lefties call it. I want you to see some of his video on the press conference. I want you to see some of his video from the press conference, and then we're going to talk about what's really happening right before our very eyes.
Sometimes things happen that bring your worst nightmares to life. Yesterday, this is what happened in Lewiston. At a time like this, a leader is forced to grapple with things that are far greater than his or herself. Humility is called for as accountability is sought by the victims of a tragedy such as this one. Out of fear of this dangerous world that we live in my determination to protect my own daughter and wife in our home and in our community, because of a false confidence that our community was above this, and that we could be in full control, among many other misjudgments, I have opposed efforts to ban deadly weapons of war like the assault rifle used to carry out this crime. The time has now come for me to take responsibility for this failure, which is why I now call on the United States Congress to ban assault rifles like the one used by the sick perpetrator of this mass killing in my hometown of Lewiston, Maine. For the good of my community, I will work with any colleague to get this done in the time that I have left in Congress. To the people of Lewiston, my constituents throughout the 2nd District, to the families who lost loved ones, and to those who have been harmed, I ask for forgiveness and support as I seek to put an end to these terrible shootings.
Did he just ask for forgiveness? He asked for forgiveness because he's saying that he was wrong all along, and that he should have been in favor of an assault weapons ban all along. Now, he's using the term assault rifle. Guys, we know assault weapon is a made-up term. Assault rifle is an actual thing, which is a full auto rifle. This was coined back in World War II. There was no assault rifle used in the shooting in Maine. There simply wasn't. This guy is incorrect, and his words mean things. You have to use the right words. We talk about it all the time, and I think sometimes we get lost in the nomenclature that's used. It's almost like we blow it off when somebody says assault weapon or assault rifle. But at this point, he's talking about, let me get this wording right. He said the killer used a deadly weapon of war, and then he called it an assault rifle. That is not true. He did use a deadly weapon. I have never bought a weapon in my life, a gun, a knife, or anything like that I didn't expect it to be deadly. I'm not going to go out and buy a big floppy rubber dildo to defend myself. Why? Because it's not deadly. I guess to some people it could be, but it's not the deadliest thing that I want to defend myself and my family with. When I buy a knife, a firearm, a shotgun, a pistol, doesn't matter what I buy, I expect it to be the most deadly thing that I can afford in that type of weapon system that I'm purchasing, right? So let's get that out of the way. I hope it's deadly. That is my ultimate goal, for it to be as deadly as it possibly can be. Because I want the unfair advantage when that guy is coming after me or my family. So let's get that out of the way. The estrogen level is through the roof with this little guy. He is succumbing to pressure of geography of where this happened. Did he not care about this before? He doesn't know any of the people. He's been asked if he knew any of the victims because this is his hometown. He didn't know any of the people. So he only cares about people who are shot in his own backyard. What about in Uvalde? He didn't care about an assault weapons ban then, right? He wasn't talking about it then. So geography seems to be the only thing that affects this guy, right? There's more to this story, and we'll get into that. The last great apologizer that I'm aware of in Congress or in politics was Barack Obama. Barack Obama was viewed worldwide as one of the biggest candy asses and wussies that you ever did read about, hear about, or was any kind of leadership position. This guy is following in Barack's footsteps. Nobody respected Barack Obama. When Barack Obama told you where the red line was, they stepped across it and they simply moved the line. This guy seemed like he's cut from the same cloth. He's now calling for a ban on assault rifles, as he likes to call them, and he says again like the one used in the shooting, which it was not. Then he finally asks for forgiveness. Wah, wah, wah. I'm going to repeat what I said yet in yesterday's video. Just because some nutbag that the government and everybody else in any kind of position of authority let fall through the cracks and kill a bunch of people, don't mean that I got guilt on me. You ain't putting this on me. I don't feel a bit worse today about my rights and my willingness to defend my Second Amendment rights than I did before this shooting, because it's not on me. Nothing I do, nothing I think, nothing that I believe in affected what happened in Maine. One person made the decision to take people's lives. Nobody else. If there's no other accomplices, nobody else had any effect on that person. And again, I have to repeat, this person slipped through the cracks of the federal government who had him in their care. And I don't know what you do with them. I'm not suggesting there's something you do with them, but they had this guy not just on their radar, in a padded cell for 2 freaking weeks. He told you what he was going to do, and then he went and did it. And you want to take my guns from me? Now, do you want to really know what changed this guy's mind? Do you really want to know? Do you want to hear from the conspiracy theorist what really changed his mind? Let me show you a map of this little candy ass's district. No, as fitting as it would be, the pink area is not his, the one just north of that is. Now let me overlay a map of Maine, and I'm going to shed a little bit of light on an area just south. I'm talking a stone's throw away. I'm talking a 5-minute ride from his district. What do you see here? You see Windham, right? Windham, Maine. What rings your bell when you think of Windham, Maine? What happened back in August, I believe it was, August, September-ish? The Windham Weaponry Manufacturing Facility closed down. If you're not familiar who that is, Windham Weaponry was the old Bushmaster, the original Bushmaster that came to be in Windham, Maine. Again, 5 minutes from this guy's district. It employed a lot of people. A lot of machinists in the area that weren't direct employees of Windham Weaponry also were employed. They made small parts, barrels, things like that, all in the surrounding areas, all doing work for Windham Weaponry. This guy, during Windham Weaponry being in business, was never in favor of an assault weapons ban. Why? Because it would directly have affected him. Voters in his district worked for Windham Weaponry and worked indirectly for Windham Weaponry. Now that they closed their doors, guess who's in favor of an assault weapons ban? That's why I say it in a really sarcastic way that geography mattered. Geography didn't matter. If Windham Weaponry had not been in his backyard, this man would have been about an assault weapons ban, as they call it, all along. All along he would have been in favor of that. Now that they've closed their doors, he doesn't care anymore. He doesn't care one bit more for those people today than he did before Windham Weaponry closed or before these shootings. He just thinks the coast is clear now because Windham's out of business, that he thinks he's not making anybody mad. Is he really that stupid to think the people of Maine are going to turn and support him now? Those same people are still in his district. Many of them are. They haven't changed their position on rifles, on AR-15s. Just because they don't work at Windham Weaponry now doesn't mean that all of a sudden they're anti-gun. Is this guy really that stupid? I understand the pettiness of not caring about AR-15s now that Wyndham is gone, but is he? I get the pettiness. Is he that stupid? Is he really that stupid? This may very well cost this man that district, and it's probably going to flip and become a Republican district, because down in that Portland, Maine area, that's where you got all your liberal wackos. I don't expect that to ever be red. But this man may well flipped his district from a blue district to a red district by this ill thought out ploy of his, because this was plain old stupid. And this shows you the dirty underbelly of politics. All it boils down to, not people, money. Money, money, money. I used to know the owner of Wyndham Weaponry, and I know he has contributed to Susan Collins' campaign many times. He could pick up the phone and call Susan Collins. I guarantee you they have contributed, and I couldn't find it, I looked. Guarantee you they have contributed to this man's campaign. There's no doubt in my mind that Mr. Golden Showers here has received money from Wyndham Weaponry, or Mr. Dick Dykes, who owned Wyndham Weaponry prior. Now, when Mr. Dykes has passed away since then, and the business is closed. So all ties to Wyndham Weaponry through these politicians are gone. Look for Maine to maybe make some decisions at the political level that people were afraid to make before. You're going to find out the true colors of these people now up in this Maine area, because let's see how many of them turn. Susan Collins, she's all for an assault weapons ban. Assault weapons ban. She can say whatever she wants. This woman will support an assault weapons ban, because she's already thinking that standard capacity magazines, which they call incorrectly high capacity magazines, she's already in favor of a ban of them.
Let me say that I think it is more important that we ban very high capacity magazines.
So don't look for any support from any of these Republicans or these Democrats who said they supported the Second Amendment before. Because again, this clown right here was never a proponent of the Second Amendment. He was a proponent of his bank account.
God save the Queen, man.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America.